Okay. I'm gonna make sure this is working on YouTube. Hopefully I muted that. Yay! Okay. Things are working. Excuse me. Welcome in, Perry. All right, YouTube is working. Awesome. Okay, so I started this ring on Monday. And I saved it so we could finish it today. And if you are watching this from YouTube, I am streaming from an app called Whatnot. There is a referral code if you want to join me here. So basically, we left off at weaving this leaf. So we got to finish weaving this leaf. I'm so happy I cut just enough wire for this. All right. So Monday was a raid train hosted by Tam's Creative Journey. She does also have a YouTube channel. Welcome in, Michelle. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can check out her channel. She sells beads. She has junk journaling tutorials, all the things. And then I do my wire wrapping. The only weird thing is those of you that watch this on YouTube cannot see who I am talking to on Whatnot because the chats are not combined. So it might be a little weird, just giving you forewarning. But I can see both chats. Oh yeah, I cut just enough wire for this. So now I'm going to end this little weave here with some extra anchoring coils. And thank you everybody on YouTube for joining. I am doing a giveaway for a pendant. Please check out my Instagram page and you can see all the details there. Okay. Welcome in, Chris. Thank you guys so much for being here. It really does mean a lot to me. Oh, I need my little wire scrap dish here. Oh, and just a little more light. There we go. Okay. What are we doing next? Let's see. So I've got this nice little leaf happening here. Hey Maria, how's it going? Nice to see you. Were you here when I started this ring? I'm good. No? Okay, I started this ring on Monday on Tam's Raid Train. And then everybody wanted me to save it for the next show. So we're going to finish it today. It's a size 8 and it's a leaf design. I don't know if you can. That's a leaf right there. Thank you. Did you finish your jewelry set yet? I like the earrings that you did. They're nice and simple. Okay, so I'm trying to think of where I could put another leaf. And I'm kind of thinking of going upwards or either this direction. What do you think, Maria? Or YouTube? What do you think, YouTube friends? Should I do another leaf facing the opposite direction? Or should I have one going up? And get it to focus. Focus. Doesn't want to focus. Okay. We'll go up. So we're going to use this same piece of wire. We're going to make it a little bit bigger. A bigger leaf. Not too big. So, I'm going to bend this all the way down. We're going to make our leaf point like that. Then we got to open this up. Then we're going to shape our leaf. Is my connection okay for you guys? It seems wonky. Oh, yeah, I got to finish mine too because I think I'm pretty positive Tam's coming over this weekend and I got to finish my other set of 15 and I am very proud of this set. You're on the fence with yours? Yeah. I'm not going to do August. I like that. Okay. So this is our second leaf. Yeah, me too. I'm really hounding down on my website. Okay, where is my copper wire? And that alone is very time consuming. Oops. Timmer. Oh, what just happened? Hang on. Thank you, Casey, for the raid. Welcome in, guys. Yay! So on Monday, I started this leaf ring on Tam's raid train. Hey, Cosmic Drips. And we are going to finish it. So I've just formed a second leaf. And if you guys ever want to rewatch this, I am multicasting to YouTube, so you guys can rewatch it. Right now, I'm trying to find my 28 gauge wire. Casey, how was your show? What did you make? I popped on for like a second and then I had to start my show, but I noticed you were making something. Okay, I am gonna cut like a long piece just to be ultra sure. It's always better to have more than you think you need. All right, so now we're gonna weave this leaf. I'm gonna do this way so it's a little easier, less awkward. Yeah, man, you guys, I have 30 gauge wire and I don't use it because I think if I were to use it, I would just use it for coiling, because weaving with 30 gauge is like snapping a piece of hair left and right. I'm like, I have so much of it and I don't use it. All right, we're gonna weave this leaf. So I'm doing this so I avoid kinking my wire as much as I can. There we go. Thank you guys for being here. So, gosh, okay. I was in Tam's show and she's talking about some great stuff. She's doing a business chat. And one of the topics was when you make something and you don't list it, what if somebody sees what they might love and you don't list it and they come back later and it's not there? I'm very guilty for that. Excuse me. And that is because I have my jewelry in like 4 to 5 different places, and my brain is like, well, why list it on Whatnot if you haven't sold the pieces you do have in the 2+ years it's been sitting on Whatnot, right? And that's what my brain says because that is what I observe and what I am used to. Therefore, I am guilty for not listing my jewelry because of that. Rotate, yes. So, this ring I am going to list here, and I just need to rotate better. So I just need to get better about that, and I admit that. And I let the negative brain chatter, I automatically revert to taking it to my work because I know it'll sell there, or taking it to the art gallery where my stuff is because I know it'll sell there. So those are like my defaults, right? But then, so sometimes you guys don't get to see half the stuff that I make because That's my default. So what I'm really gonna try to start doing is when I make something here on Whatnot, I will list it and I'm gonna start a inventory just for Whatnot so that I can keep it here at home to where it's easily accessible. And then, if 3 months goes by, then I will rotate. So I want to try to really work on that. Yes, I'm happy too, Casey. Have you done stuff like this? I'm focusing on nature inspired jewelry because that is the whole root of how I even started doing this is nature. Yep. Nope. I'm going to make a box just for Whatnot inventory. That way it'll be easier to keep track of and easier to rotate. Welcome in, cute girl on YouTube. Thank you for joining. I am overcomplicating weaving on this side. Wonder if you noticed that, Casey. Okay, so now we're going to go over to this side. Ooh. Gimme. Okay. No, lately okay, so there is this lady, right? And I'm pretty serious about running a full-time business doing this, and I'm doing pretty good so far. Yay, thank you, Casey. And when you're doing this sort of thing, you come across so many ads of how I did this in this amount of time and how I did this in that amount of time. And I have found one person that I was willing to pay for her little class, and it was affordable. It was like $40, for closer to $45. And I have learned so much, and it's a 5-day course. And I am very picky with courses because anybody and everybody is doing courses on like the craziest little things, and it's for them, it's revenue. And, but this lady, she's like, she makes jewelry, and I feel like I've found the perfect person because she, um, doesn't use social media for any of her stuff. She does something called outreach, which is getting your stuff in front of like other people's viewers. So, one example is I did get in the Nirvana Beads magazine for their check glass sun coins. I have a page in their book, which that was crazy and so easy to make happen, but I want to focus more on stuff like that. And this lady is just freaking amazing, and I really admire her because I'm spending all my time doing all the things, and she is like, "Quit doing this, quit doing that, it's not gonna work, you don't." You know, I'm not a social media person, and I don't want to spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours posting every little thing I do just to make one sale. And that's where she comes in. She talks about all the things you can do to where you do not have to do that. And it's just, I'm loving it. Loving, loving, loving it because it's like perfect. She makes food jewelry with polymer clay. Her name is May Pock, and I'm very happy I found her. And well, the funny thing is I've seen her ads pop up over the last like 2 years, and I've finally given in. Like, all right, I'm gonna, see what she's got to say because I feel freaking stuck, and I feel like nothing has really been happening. As far as my website, which is my home base, and I am head deep in that. Casey, do you know who I'm talking about? So her food jewelry is she makes food jewelry and it's also scented, which is freaking super cool. It's called Tiny Hands Jewelry. And she's cute. I will say she's very cute, but I'm super happy I found her. I am a fan. Yeah, you might. Her her saying is like, "Are you tired of spending all your time doing all these things, getting burnt out to make this one thing happen?" And she has different strategies and systems that work for people that want to run a handmade business, and she has like six-figure handmade businesses, to a point where her husband got to quit his job. So she has two handmade jewelry businesses. Together, they have a map business. Um, and then she has her classes and courses. And I'm like, oh my God, you inspire me, woman. I know I can do this. I've come this far. Welcome in Letitia on YouTube. Okay, I gotta cut this wire because I gave myself way, way, way more than I needed, and it's making this a little difficult. Okay, there we go. So where am I at? I'm here. I did that. Go around here. Okay. Casey, you should check her out. I mean, if you're trying to do what I'm trying to do. And even if you're not, you should still check her out. She's freaking awesome. And I want to get to that point where I can, take care of everybody eventually. Where my husband isn't, stuck at O'Reilly's. I'm determined, you guys. You have no idea. Okay. Went up, now we're going around. We're almost done with this leaf. I'm kind of feeling like there should be a third leaf. But we will see. Or maybe that is, the OCD going, it should be even. There should be a leaf on the other side. But I'm also like, let's not go that route and do something different on the corner of these leaves. I kind of like that idea better. Oh, okay. So another thing I'm learning is one of the things she says is as creators and makers, we have a tendency that when we are, putting our creations up for sale, we have a tendency to talk about our process and how we made it, right? Because that's what we do. That's our world. And when it comes to somebody shopping, unless you are an artist, your typical buyer, which is a lot of people, right, don't care about your process. So it's like, they care about the outcome. They're here to buy this thing that is really, really cool looking. And that's what they're focused on. And they're focused on, why do I want to buy this thing? And excuse me, a lot of my descriptions are how I made it, what it's made of, all this stuff, and then why would you buy this thing, right? So I need to work on that also. Like, I love my process and talking about my process, but what she says does make sense. And like when I go buy stuff from somebody as an artist, I do care about how it's made because I'm like, that is so cool. How did they do that? But not everybody thinks that way. So you have to take that into consideration when you're putting things up. Okay, so this leaf is done. All right. See, right, Maria? That's a huge challenge. Another thing, too, I learned is okay, a niche, right? Having a niche. Okay, say you guys were, yes, I agree with that, Casey. Totally 100% agree with that. So, oh my God, this is so hard because, you know, she pulled up a couple of website examples and she's like, I want you guys to tell me what niche you think this is. What you think this store is trying to say, right? And my thought was, it was literally socks. So my thought was people who like socks. And she says, don't you dare say people who like socks, right? It's like me and Casey, it's our one ideal customer is people who love really freaking sweet, awesome, badass looking jewelry and they want to wear and enjoy it. From the standpoint of being a wire wrapping artist and having a niche and finding who your one ideal customer is so challenging because you want to say, well, my one ideal customer is people who love jewelry, right? Or people who love artistic looking jewelry. But it's like, I'm looking for a bead. It's like, okay, but you have to take it down further. Hang on. So, taking it further, yes, people who love stones. My thing is people who love nature. This is how I broke it down. Because when I was 13, somebody gave me a crystal and I was like, holy shit, that thing is beautiful. And then when I was traveling, you know, I loved being outdoors in the trees and I was like making stuff with twigs and whatever. And I'm like, okay, nature inspired jewelry is my niche. So, what is that one ideal customer, right? People who love nature and want to wear it, and people who love nature themed wearable art and want to wear it. That is as far as I can break mine down. And I really like steampunk too. I've made some steampunk pendants with watch gears and all of that. And so I'm like, okay, but I like that too. Like, it's so hard with wire wrapping, Casey. Pondering this stuff. Boho steampunk. Yeah. See, that would be your niche. That is freaking cool and unique. Thanks, Maria. So mine would be naturey, nature inspired with a steampunk twist. Um, I don't know. It's a freaking trip thinking about it because this person that had socks, right? And she was like, "Don't you dare say people who like socks." They were animal socks. So their one ideal customer is people who like customizable animal socks, right? Yes, I do too. Copper is my freaking love. Oxidized copper is my love. So now what I'm doing is because I've broken that down and I've come full circle with that because I've strayed away, into macrame and all the things, but I want my website to be focused on the one thing that I've always done at heart that will really bring people in. Because if you go to a website, right, and you're looking for nature inspired jewelry or whatever that is very artsy and fun and unique, but then you see like some random macrame plant hangers, it's gonna like throw the whole vibe off. So I'm really trying to hound down and laser in on this thing that I'm doing. I have a website. Oh my gosh, Casey. Well, you know what? Before you I don't know how much experience you have in all of that, but I really do genuinely, as a friend, as a soul sister, recommend checking out Meipak. Meipak. Because she explains, what the colors of your website should be. And there are letters for eye movement that are like, you know, make sure everything is contrasting, make sure the add to cart button is obvious type of stuff. Yes, you got it. I really love this, you guys. I think I should end this ring where it is. I don't think it needs any more. See, Maria, there you go. The whole goal having a website is making it as easy as possible and having everything make sense with each other. I love this so much. You guys have no idea how excited I am right now about this ring. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think it's done. I really don't think it needs anything else. Thank you, Maria. So, okay, what I'm going to do. I hope you guys don't mind my babbling with all this. It is just the headspace I have been in lately, to a point where Cam is like, "Are you good?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm good. I am just down a really important rabbit hole, but I'm still alive, I promise." So I think the first thing you should do, Casey, is look at your logo, reevaluate it. Does it make sense? All of that. Is it truly what you want as your logo? I had to reevaluate mine. I didn't want to because I really loved the pendant that was my logo, but I also thought having one of my pendants as my logo doesn't really, like, it makes sense as to what I sell, but I also make earrings and rings and things like that. So I wanted to make it more, I don't know, not so focused on pendants, I guess. So then once you have your logo, you can go on Canva and they have like a color generator thing. So you would upload your logo to that and it will generate what your branding colors are for you. And then you can take that and utilize those colors for your website. Yep, that's what I did. I freaking love mine. Okay. Um, Something needs to happen here with this leaf. I want to make it more sturdy. So let's see. I want to go down. Can I go through the leaf? Hang on. We got to add a little something something because this little part here is not as structurally sound as I would like it to be. Okay, we're gonna backtrack. Thank you, Casey. That took hours just to figure out. I did use AI to do that, and you know what? I am not a big AI user for anything really. Like, genuinely, not even listing descriptions, none of that, because I don't wanna sound like a freaking robot. But pictures, it is helpful. Gotta straighten all this out, make it all pretty again. Try to. All right, get this little swoopy back up here. There needs to be a swoopy up in here. Because it'll flow better. Okay, so now you know what I was also thinking about, you guys? Oh my god. You might laugh at me, you might agree with me. It doesn't matter, but all right. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but I mean, I do not have a problem with, you know, utilizing AI, but I refuse to use it for everything I do, right? That's because I like to think for myself. I like to think for myself. And you know, when you watch YouTube and your algorithm changes and you start seeing all these ads based on what you've been watching and all of that, I'm seeing so many ads to a point where it's like, use AI to build you an AI program that can build you an AI made website. It's like a freaking domino effect. I'm like, okay, so you used AI to build yourself an app that utilizes AI for people to use AI. Literally is what I am seeing. I don't know if anybody else is seeing or noticing that. It's fucking crazy, you guys. And I'm like, no, I'm good. It's crazy. Crazy. And I'm like, I'll use it for pictures and stuff, but I don't want to use it for everything I do because I don't want to become lazy. All right, I'm trying to secure this in here and I can't find. Oh, there it is. That's where I want it to go. Okay. Yes. Whoa. Your work is pushing it? Yeah. And another thing too, my good friend slash boss and I were talking about it, and her husband saw that in Texas there's cars that are AI driven, and she was like, so then what about those people that had jobs that no longer have jobs because of AI. That's a thing. Okay, this is more structurally sound. That leaf is bound to the band. And we're going to come around. We're going to do a little swoopy-doo right here. I don't know. I could be sounding totally crazy to you guys, but I don't know. I guess I'm just expressing where my brain has been at lately. Right? My God. You know, and I'm sure maybe there is a reason for it, or maybe there's not. Maybe nobody's thought about it because everybody's so caught up in AI and the other stuff. Okay, I'm cutting this. That's like a really big loop. I want to make it a little smaller. Yeah, Casey. So I recommend, I think I squirreled. I don't even know. I recommend having your logo first, get your colors, and then watch May Pak's class. It's, hang on. Where's the beginning? Oh, sell more. Yeah. Here, just take a picture. CreativeHive.com. I'll send you a message too, anyways, but she's awesome. Okay. We're going to tidy this up. The point of the leaf is not hitting my finger, or like going into it. I'm going to try to round this out. A little bit. There we go. That's a little better. Wait. Be careful. You know what I need? I need my fancy dancy pliers. Because that sharp corner there is like really driving me a little bonkers. Thanks, Casey, for hanging out. Thank you for the raid. Thanks for listening to my nonsense. Thanks, Maria. Okay. That's a lot better. It was like too sharp right there of a little turn. All right, it's done. I love this. Okay, so I'm going to list this on Whatnot. So it'll be in my bin in like within the next 10 minutes. Um let's see. I wonder if Tam is still going. Which this I would list it at 30. All right. I'm just going to end it, Maria. Thanks for hanging with me. Um we're going to go raid or not raid. I'm going to end it. I'll see you over in Tam's if you go over to Tam's. Have a good night.